we're looking at the Chapter 1, Section 6 notes, and I'm just going through the examples. If you'd like to see videos of the actual constructions from this packet, you should go back to the YouTube channel and look at the playlist on constructions. So the first example is asking you to duplicate segment EF. So what we want to do first thing is we want to take a ruler and we want to go ahead and draw a line. Okay, so we take our ruler, we set it down, we go ahead and we draw a line, and we go ahead and place a point on that line to show us where we're going to start our segment. I then take my compass and I set my compass to be the length of segment EF, or as close to it as I can get it. Again, we're not working with the finest tuned machinery here. Once that's set, I go ahead and I come back to the line that I drew. I place the pointer on the point that I made, and I reach out and I make an arc mark. We have just created segment EF, and all you want to do to label it is put a brace or a rectangle and say that has length EF. Okay, for the second example, we are constructing a segment of length CD plus EF, and CD's from the top of the page. We'll go there in a second. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a line to build on. Point on the line. My compass is already set to EF, so I'm going to go ahead and do that first. But let's double check, make sure it's really EF. Great. Pointer goes on there, I reach out, I make a mark for EF. Well, I'm definitely going to have to make this longer, so just line it up again with your ruler and extend the segment. Go back up to the top of the page, you'll see segment CD. Put the pointer down, set your compass to be the same length as CD, and then come back down to where you were building. Pointer goes on the arc mark intersection point you created, you reach out. So as you can see in this picture, this segment from here to here is EF, from here to here is CD, and we go ahead again and we just use our pen or pencil to show that that is CD plus EF. Okay. Now we're going to construct the segment of length EF, take away CD. So before I turn the page, I'm going to reset my compass to EF. You always want to set to the longer one if you're subtracting. Reach out, good enough. I come back here, I take my ruler, and I draw a line to build on, and I put a point on that line. Then, compass is set to EF, pointer goes on the dot that I put there. I go ahead and I draw EF. And then I want to take away CD. So I come back up to the top of the page, reset my compass to be CD, come back down here, and I'm going to go ahead and place my pointer on the end of EF, reach back towards the beginning, make an arc mark. So this was EF, we're taking away CD, so this piece right here is EF, take away CD. Now the other way to accomplish this would be to, once you're set to CD, put the pointer back at the beginning and reach out and make an arc mark, at which point EF, take away CD would be at this end of the picture. All right. We're done with page 1. We're going to move on to page 4 of this note packet. Thanks. Okay, we're on page 4 of the note packet for Chapter 1, Section 6, and we're practicing duplicating angles. So as you can see in these examples, first we're just going to duplicate angle Y, then we're going to duplicate angle A, and then we're going to do a combination of Y and A. Because we're going to do a combination, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set my compass to any distance and make it a little bit smaller. And I'm going to go ahead and make an arc mark that crosses both sides of my angle. So again though, whatever radius I used on angle Y, I'm going to go ahead and use the same radius on angle A. Okay, once that's set, I come down here to where I'm going to duplicate angle Y. I take my ruler and I make a line, and I go ahead and I put a dot on that line. I've also moved over a little bit because angle Y is obtuse and I don't want to be too far this way and have it run off the page. So compass is still set for this arc that I created up at the top of the page. So I'm going to put the pointer on the dot that I made, and I'm going to draw an arc. Notice I'm making a pretty big arc because angle Y is an obtuse angle. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Okay. Then I come back to where I marked up angle Y, and I set my compass to go from intersection point to intersection point. Notice those arrows mean nothing to me. All I'm using is the intersection points that the arc made with the angle. Again, when I say intersection point, I'm referring to this point right here. I come back to where I'm building the arc. I put the pointer on the intersection point. I reach out and I make an arc mark. I then take the ruler. I line up the intersection point with the vertex point that I made. And I draw the ray, and I've just duplicated angle Y. Alrighty, on the next one, we're going to construct an angle of measure twice angle A. So we take our ruler and we draw a ray or a line, and I'm going to go ahead and make this one, I'm going to do this twice. I'm going to go ahead and set this here with a point on it. I come back, I need to set my compass to this arc that I've already created. So close. There we go. We're on the arc that was made before. I then come back here, I put the pointer on the point, and I draw an arc that intersects my line, and I want to make it pretty big because I'm making twice angle A. I then come back to angle A, and I set my compass to measure across angle A. Oops, a little bit smaller. A little bit smaller. A bit bigger. It's like Goldilocks. Okay, we're set, I believe. I come back here. Pointer goes on the intersection point. I reach out and I make an arc mark. If I drew the ray at this point, I'd have one angle A. So I'm going to just leave the compass at the distance it's at, move my pointer to that intersection point, and reach out again and make an arc mark. Now I just go ahead, take my straight edge, take my ruler and pen, and I draw the ray. And so this entire angle is 2 angle A's. Now that's one way to make 2 angle A's. The second way is to take your straight edge, make a line, put a point on it, and then again I want to set my compass to be the radius that I've created this arc on angle A. That arc is very important to you, as you can tell. Okay, we're all set to that arc. I come back here to where I'm duplicating angle A, and this time I'm going to make my arc cross my line, but I'm going to go above and below the angle. Above and below the angle. All right. Then I come back here. I set my compass again to the distance across angle A as best I can. Tough to control. Okay. Then, once it's set, I come back, and where the intersection point is meeting the line that I drew, I'm going to put my pointer there, and I'm going to reach up and make an arc mark. And then I'm going to go ahead and twist the paper, put my pointer on that intersection point where that met the line, reach down and make an arc mark. And then I'm going to use my pen and straight edge to make 2 rays through those intersection points. When I do that, what I've done is, above my line, I have one angle A. Below my line, I have a second angle A. So together, I've created twice angle A. Okay, for the last construction, we're creating angle Y, take away angle A. So you go ahead, you lay your straight edge down, you draw a line, you put a point on it. We come back up to the angles at the top of the page, and again we want to set our compass to be the length of the radius that we drew the arcs for, which I believe is right about there. So I come back down to where I'm building, take my compass, pointer goes on the point I drew, and I make a pretty big arc because Y is obtuse. I come back to the drawing, pointer goes on the intersection of the arc and the ray, and then we set our compass to reach across the angle. I come back down to where I'm building, compass goes on the intersection point, and I reach across and make an arc mark. Now, at this point, if I drew this ray, I would have angle Y duplicated. I want to take away angle A. So I'm going to go back up to the top of the page. I'm going to set my compass to the distance across angle A. Now, I only get to do this because both arcs on angle A and on angle Y are the same radius, both of these arcs. So I come back and I go ahead and I place my pointer on the intersection point, which would create angle Y, and I reach back and make an arc mark. So I then take my straight edge and my pen and I draw a ray that goes through that arc mark. And over here would be angle Y, take away angle A. Now notice, again, if I had drawn this ray, I'd have angle Y. By coming back, this is an angle A. So it was angle Y, take away an angle A, leaves you with this piece. The other option for this scenario is to place your pointer here and make your arc mark for A this way, in which case this side would become the Y, take away A angle. All right, that is it for page 4. On the next video, we're going to move on to page 6 examples. We're moving to the examples on page 6.